Hello and welcome everybody to the 1920s. In the 1920s, we need to address a couple of things. Number one, Under Armour didn't exist. It's funny because every time I see like armor, like the Under Armour, I'm like, Tommy Armour. And then it's like, oh no, it's Under Armour. It's like, that's how my mind works. I'm twisted, I know. And we want to talk about golf clubs. How much have golf clubs changed from 1920 till now? Is it just metal on a stick, literally an stick? So, real quick, this looks like it's going to be a handful, and it's been on the range a couple of times already, and I can tell you it is a handful. So let's get this on the review table and see if we can contain the madness. Once you chisel through the rust, you can see the flag pin logo right here. Celtic Niblick. I like that stamp they put right there. Warranted, hand forged, which is awesome. You just don't see that nowadays. James Spence, St. Andrews, made in Scotland, the home of golf. It makes you feel warm and fuzzy looking at this. Looking at the toe profile, you can see it is a blade, not a muscle back. Notice, look how sharp that top line is. Keel profile real quick. And then just add a dress. I mean, that top line. It is awfully lofted for the length of the club. The face is staked. It has these dimples in it. Hand cut lines right here. It's so beautiful. I mean, look at this. And it's very round. Round toe, round leading edge. Is there any offset here? Maybe it's even onset. Look at that. Pretty intense. Hosel, pretty large and heavy, substantial. The nicking, that's what they call these little marks right here. Not a sawtooth nick, but still looks very appealing. Looks hand done into this lovely hickory shaft. I have no idea about the history of this golf club. Not sure if this is original or not, but it looks like there was at some point some whipping around this leather grip. It's probably tacked. Yeah, there's a little tack right there. Leather grip all the way up to the wooden hickory butt exposed here at the butt. There's another pin right there, another little brad. Well, this is absolutely beautiful. Let's get this out on the range and see how it feels. James Spence, one of my favorite, I mean like Forgan obviously, but like James Spence, a great St. Andrews area clubsmith. And this is a hickory shafted Niblick. And I can tell you right now, I'm a little bit nervous. So I've actually hit this a couple of times on the range. The first time was just a disaster. I don't know when you'll see that at the end of the video, or maybe I've already shown that. I'm not sure when how I'm gonna put my video together. But I had a lot of trouble hitting it. One of my patrons sent a Maltby playability factor link to me. I've seen it before, where they talk about the playability of clubs. The worst, at the bottom of the list, a negative score. So the higher the score, the easier it is to hit. The lower the score, the harder it is to hit. These Niblicks, not the Niblicks, but the hickory shafted clubs, score a negative. So they're some of the hardest clubs in the world to play. And I saw that the first time out. Second time out was a little bit better, but I just felt like I wasn't getting the distance that I could otherwise. Let me show you just for comparison. Do you guys have a minute? So here's the James Spence. Let's just grab a Callaway. Here's a Callaway Steelhead X16 6-iron. They're about the same length. So it's a little bit longer, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, the modern 6-iron. So that's the length of this. But this one has some substantial loft on it, even more so than the 6-iron. So it's like to me it seems like a long 9-iron or pitching wedge. That's my impression. So obviously we'll see how far it goes. It is windy and cold here today. This is why we love Wisconsin. All right, let's see if I can even hit this. All right, we're just looking to make contact here. Pulled it left. Good height on it. I missed that little trampoline net over there. All right, so let's adjust for that pull here. Open my grip, out to in. I'm going to scoot it back in my stance a little bit just to compensate.
So trying to get it to go straight. And it did. Again, good height, about the same distance as when I pulled it. I hit that a little bit fat, just a little bit. Line it up with the previous divot, and let's go again. I'm going to come down on it just as hard. Wow, yeah, this feels terrible. Have you ever taken, you're like around a lake, you grab a piece of driftwood, or what, you know, just a dead piece of wood, and you like take a stick and clack it against the rocks. It feels like I'm playing golf with a stick, maybe because I am. And when I connect with it, it doesn't feel like the ball ever really like grabs or connects. It feels like the center of gravity is like floating like here somewhere. It doesn't feel, the center of gravity feels off to me is what I'm saying. But I don't have any scientific data to support that claim. See, I duffed one. That's what I worry about. I'm not even sure how I duffed that. It didn't give me any feedback. Was it off the toe or the heel? No idea. I could have just bladed it that way. That's why we're here. That's why we're here. To watch not a robot play some vintage clubs. All right. I'm gonna take a full-on swing with this and just see what happens. It was fine. It went way up in the air. Went about 80, 90 yards. James Spence, Hickory shaft, negative score on the multi-playability factor, and I believe it. It's really difficult to hit. So looking at my strikes, it looks like I was favoring the heel side, which goes back to that center of gravity that I was talking about. It just feels off. So excited to read your comments. Let me know. James Spence, what do you think of these old hickory shafted Niblicks?
So this was a handful to hit. It really was. So let me show you the first time I took this out on the range. So that, needless to say, like really like freaked me out. So I went home and I actually like just played with it for a little bit, just like sitting here, right here, just holding it, trying to figure out like where's the center of gravity on this thing? What is going on around here? What? And then so I realized that the center of gravity is kind of like off the face. And so I was like, oh, I need to imagine that I'm towing it every time. And so I got that in my mind. Took it to the range again, I think a different range, and here's what happened the second time. And obviously, you know, the third time you saw my talking range session where I hit it, you know, okay, I totally shanked one too. Now, to me, this is a fun club. Now, I read this in the comments, people, it's not just one person. There's been at least 24 people who have written things like, all that matters is how it performs. Yes, okay, from an analytical standpoint, if all you're worried about is your score in golf, then that's fine, okay? I'm not going to criticize anybody for playing golf like that, good. But what if you just want to have fun? Now, I say that and everybody has their different idea of what fun is. Like, for example, my dad has a degree in electrical engineering, electrical engineer, right? He worked for JPL, the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, in the 70s, all right? Now, one day he comes back home, and this happened recently, this was like in the last 20 years, and he's Googled sense of humor, and he's reading the Wikipedia page about humor. Well, there are different types, you know, the humor, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, literally like, search the definition of fun. What's going on, Dad? Oh, well, somebody said that I didn't have a sense of humor. So I want to, you know, use your analytical mind and develop a sense of humor. So what? Okay, it doesn't just come naturally to some people. It doesn't come naturally to them. So when I look at this is screaming fun. And instantly, you know, you get this barrage of, well, I hardly call duffing a ball into the lake fun. No, it's fun. Trust me. It's like when golf balls splash, everybody in my group cheers because that's how my friends are, right? We're there to have fun. We don't care. And so this would be a lot of fun. You know, can you imagine lining up like over like a lake and you have to hit this exactly, you know, however I hit this, right, like 80 yards. I have to hit this 80 yards and take a full swing. I need to hit it perfectly. Otherwise, it's going to be a splash. There's some pressure there and it's fun. So to me, this might be the most fun blade I've ever hit in my life, but not the best, not even close. Like if you were like, I want a serious iron and I want to score, you know, I want to score my lowest score possible. Should I play some hickories? No. And the other thing that I would say about this is it's also kind of a conundrum because this is fun, but I'm going to talk about it. You know, golf balls, okay? Boring. Nobody's watching this far into the video anyway. If you buy like I'm probably going to put an image up here, a screenshot from a golf company that makes vintage golf balls that you can play with hickory shafted clubs. I forgot what they're called during the 20s, but you can get some 20s style golf balls. The problem is they're going to be expensive. Like, I don't know exactly, but close to around, from what I remember, if I remember correctly, the price of a Pro V1. And so the question arises, do you want to lose these expensive golf balls or Pro V1s, or are you just going to go buy some cheap duffers and play it with this? So that's kind of the conundrum here, though. It's like, I want to just go out and get some cheap golf balls. I just want to go out and just get a dozen for $10, or just find some used golf balls. I have some used golf balls in my bag and just like duff around with them, because who cares really? You know, with the old persimmons, you know, maybe a softer golf ball, but still you get something soft, you get something new, get some Callaway Super Softs or something. It'll be fine. That's probably what I would do. So, love this. I want to build a James Spence set. I really do. Hickory shafted. I'm not sure if I'm going to play it though, and that's my problem, is because I'm weighing right now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If I collect a set of these, they're going to sit in my collection, and I'm not sure what I want to do with them. However, if I go to Louisville Golf and buy a set of hickory shafted blades when they're available, I would actually go play those on the course. I'd probably go buy some of those expensive vintage golf balls and play those. So let me know your thoughts. What would you do if you want to play some hickory shafted? Would you buy some old and play, or would you buy some new and play? Because I'm kind of, these were made to be played, so I want to play them. Gosh, I love this club. Let me know your hickory stories. Do you have Forgan? I want to get some Forgan clubs too. It's on the radar, everybody. I have a huge list I have a mountain of content to get through. So buckle up, everybody. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. To conclude, I want to thank my patrons. Huge thank you. I really appreciate my patrons. Some of them were caught up in the hurricane in Florida. Hope everything continues to go well. From my messaging with them, everyone's fine. Just some property damage and power went out and stuff. So hope everybody does well. I also want to talk about my social media accounts real quick. So if you don't see my social media account here on this list, it's not me, okay? So in the comments, there have been some spam and some things that are telling people they've won something and to contact me. That's not my contact information. This is my only contact information, all right? So if it's not from one of these sources, it's not from me. And I also want to mention that I have an Amazon shop. I'll put a link in the description below. I am an Amazon associate. I make proceeds from qualifying purchases. Thank you everybody for watching. I am the Vintage Golfer.